Hi fans, and welcome to this WPIAL Playoff Week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network. The Wolverines qualified for a home game in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs with a victory over Penn Hills last week. We're going to sit down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak to talk about last week's victory over Penn Hills. We'll also talk about this week's opponent, the North Hills Indians. We'll also talk a little bit about the playoff seeding. All of that and more as the pregame show rolls on right here on WHHS TV. Hi again fans, and welcome to this WPIAL Playoff Week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. We're now sitting down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. And Coach Novak, before we talk about this week's game against the North Hills Indians, let's take a look back to last week's victory over the Penn Hills Indians, a shutout victory over your closest rival in the Southeast Conference.
Yeah, you know, when you play a rivalry like Penn Hills or McKeesport or Central Catholic, they've been our rivals for 25 years, and you know, it's always a special game for the kids. It's always special. It has a little bit more excitement, and you know, it's been back and forth between us and Penn Hills, and we had a tough one against them last year, so it was good to win this year. And I thought the kids played really well against a good Penn Hills team. You know, they've had the ball bounce funny for them this year. They had a lot of bad breaks, but you know, they still have a good football team.
For the first time in a long time, we saw the defense get an interception, and Chris David really played a very, very strong football game, probably his best of the year. Yeah,
Chris is a good athlete. He's a junior. He's played well all year, offensively and defensively. And, you know, he plays corner for us, he plays safety for us, he plays wide receiver. He's a good athlete and really came along this year. He got better every game, and he's playing well now.
On the offensive side of the football, a very balanced offensive attack. The running game was very, very impressive. All three backs contributed very well.
Yeah, you know, we try to use all three of our running backs. You know, Alex Beasley's a power runner. Day White, he's quick. He can run inside or outside. And, you know, our young freshman Miles, he has a great athleticism and speed. You know, all three of them are good runners, and we utilize all of them depending on what situation we're in.
Getting back to Miles Sanders, last week you said hopefully he'd mature into a junior. Well, last week he certainly looked like that, 130-plus yards and a TD.
Yeah, I think he had a big game for us offensively, and you know, a lot of that credit goes to the offensive line because they're starting to gel. Penn Hills had a lot of stunts. We had to pick up a lot of stunts, and the line did a great job doing it, and the other backs did a great job blocking. Can't say enough about Tom Green and, you know, his blocking downfield, and that's lots of times it goes unnoticed, but you know, he's the key guy sometimes when we get a long touchdown or a long run.
Passing the football, you guys were very successful as well. Cody McClellan, another consistent game, over 100 yards.
Yeah, Cody is just a mature young man, and he's a good leader on the football team. You know, we're running the ball with him, he's throwing. I really found a lot of different receivers last week. I think we had 5 or 6 different people catch the ball, and you know, that was a big plus for us because going into the playoffs, you want to have a lot of different weapons when you utilize all the athletes.
We talked about Jordan Potter a week ago, set a new school record with a 46-yard field goal.
You know, we always had a lot of confidence since he joined us on his ability to kick, but in game situations, you never know, especially against a big rival like Penn Hills. And Coach Whitehurst told me before the game that he hit a 52-yarder, so I figured, you know, we had a little bit of a win, so at 52, I said, well, we can make a 46. I think he could have made a 56 the way he kicked it. He got a hold of it, and it was a good snap by Jawan Turner, and a good hold by Tom Green, and good line block, and he put it through right down the middle.
Let's talk about North Hills, a team you're certainly used to playing in the WPIAL playoffs over the past 25 years.
Yeah, North Hills is probably one of the most known football teams in this part of our country, the WPL around the country. They've been national champs, state champs. Very well coached team, offensively, defensively, and special teams. I think, you know, their offense has changed over the years. Now they're very wide open, a lot of trickery, a lot of reverses, a lot of counters, double passes, screens, a lot of different things they run against you. So you got to really work hard on it because they use a lot of different formations to try to trick you. So you know, it's a tough team to prepare for. Defensively, I think they've always been, and they're known for their defense, being one of the best defense. They have Coach McCurry has over 90 shutouts in his career there, and that's just a phenomenal number. That's because they have a good scheme and they coach defense very well over at North Hill. So we got a tough game with them.
Talk about Jack McCurry. You know, before the season started, there was that article in the Post-Gazette about the Mount Rushmore of high school football in Western Pennsylvania. Of course, you were on it, and I know you're not going to talk about that, but, you know, Jack McCurry was one of them, and that has really been one of the signature coaching rivalries in the WPIAL over the past 25 years has been you and Jack.
Yeah, I think we've had some great games with North Hills and Coach McCurry, and, you know, his kids are always well prepared. He's a good coach. He has a good staff, similar to ours. His staff's been with him a long time. A lot of ex-players on his staff. You know, he's retired from, he was a teacher, then became principal, and he's retired about 5 years now, and he's still coaching and, you know, doing a good job, still has the energy to do it. And, you know, it's a good rivalry. I think there was a day when it wasn't as good for him. You know, he has a little bit of a temper, I think, and, you know, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, so, you know, we became friends over the years, and, you know, I have a lot of respect for him, and he has a lot of respect for Woodland Hills and our program.
Coach, with that victory last week, you were able to get the number 7 seed, 7-10 game against North Hills, but, you know, you hate to look forward, but the Gateway Gators are just around the corner as well, if you're able to get past North Hills. A very nicely stacked WPIAL playoffs this year. Yeah,
I think, you know, Quad A is very tough. Of course, North Allegheny's the number 1 seed. I think everybody knew that, and Gateway would be number 2. They're both, you know, this is their year that both of them have good teams. You know, North Allegheny's on a roll like we were in the early 2000s, and, you know, we had that 4-year string there. And this is their 3rd year going through, and they got some great athletes. They got size, they got speed, they got a good quarterback, great defense. And Gateway, this is the year they've been building towards. They have great size, great speed, great athletes. So, you know, those are 1 and 2 seeds. Of course, Upper St. Clair has a very, very good football team. Coach Renner does a great job. And Seneca Valley is kind of a sleeper team, but I'm very impressed with them. They have, I remember when they were in 9th grade, they came down and played our 9th grade. They were a very good team. You could tell they were going to be good. And these guys are seniors now, so they're very explosive offensively, and they have a good defense. So they're the 4th seed. Mount Lebanon's number 5. You know, they have a great football team, great defense, offense, and first-year coach has done a great job. You know, they had a field goal blocked, or they'd have been number 3 maybe. 6, 7, and 8 is always tough to pick. You know, Penn Trafford came in 2nd in their conference, and they got the 6th seed. We got the 7th. And McKeesport got the 8th. All 3 games are going to be tough games. You know, they're the closest competitive games, but there's always upsets, so you never know what's going to happen. But those 3, they're all going to be great games.
Coach Novak, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck this week against the North Hills Indians. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week in the 2nd round of the WPIAL playoffs. Back with more of the pregame show right after this on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Again, fans, we thank you for joining us for this WPIAL Playoff Week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. As always, you can tune in to our game live on the radio on AM 1550 WLFP, on the web at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com with the stream courtesy of msasports.net. We'll have live cable radio coverage on Verizon Fios Channel 37, as well as live television coverage on Monroeville Comcast Cable Channels 4 and 13, as well as Penn Hills Comcast Cable Channel 98. And as always, we'll have video replays across all of our television affiliates. For everybody at Woodland Hills Television, I'm Adam Gusky, and we hope to talk to you again next week